Pap what? Pap smear? What you bringing in my house named Pap smear for? Who is this? James, who is this? She got a nigga up in the house named Pap smear. Is you a woman? What he doing? You already know. I don't want nothing. He ain't. Well, you ain't met me. I don't need to meet him. I can smell that he ain't shit. That's how I am, y'all. That's really how I am. I see something that you can't see. Can't never win no number. I win by the horns. But I know what the nigga when I see one, I can smell it. He don't mean no good. Rissa, he don't mean no good. He ain't got no money, I can tell.
When Tasha K pressed the go live button on her podcast, the internet did not just react. It paused, leaned in, and held its breath. Within minutes, short clips began jumping from one platform to another. Screens lit up. Comment sections filled faster than anyone could scroll. What people thought they knew about Claressa Shields suddenly felt uncertain, as if a familiar story had been flipped upside down and shaken until new pieces fell out. For a long time, Claressa had been seen as more than just a fighter. To many, she stood as proof that discipline, focus, and belief could push a person past every limit. Her wins in the ring were not just about trophies or titles. They were moments that inspired others to chase their own goals. She trained hard, spoke with confidence, and carried herself like someone who had a clear sense of direction. Fans trusted that what they saw was exactly who she was. That is why the podcast caused such a strong reaction. According to what Tasha claimed, the public version of Claressa's life was only part of the picture. There was another layer, one that stayed hidden behind bright lights, friendly interviews, and carefully chosen words. The idea that such a strong and successful person might be caught in a situation she did not fully understand made people stop and rethink everything. The podcast suggested that some of the relationships Claressa believed in were not as simple as they seemed. On camera, the moments looked warm and genuine. There were smiles, hugs, and supportive comments. It felt like a circle built on loyalty and care. But Tasha claimed that behind those scenes, pressure and private struggles shaped how people acted in public. Listeners were told that financial stress played a major role. According to the story shared on the podcast, unpaid obligations and long-term money troubles created tension behind the scenes. Protecting reputations became a priority. Keeping a perfect image in front of the world mattered more than ever. In that version of events, Claressa's rising fame became more than just her own success. It became a way to keep attention pointed away from problems no one wanted to discuss openly. This idea unsettled many people. Fans who had cheered for every win and celebrated every milestone began to wonder if those moments carried a second meaning. They asked themselves whether the spotlight on Claressa's achievements also served another purpose. The thought that someone's hard work could be tied to someone else's survival plan felt uncomfortable and unfair. As the conversation grew, people started looking back. Old interviews were replayed. Social media posts were read again, sometimes line by line. Photos that once felt casual now seemed loaded with possible meaning. Even small gestures like a look or a pause in speech became points of discussion. It was as if everyone believed the truth might be hiding in plain sight, waiting to be noticed. One of the most emotional parts of the story involved an alleged secret relationship. Tasha claimed that when this information came to light, it caused a deep shift for Claressa. Trust that once felt strong began to weaken. The connection she believed was built on loyalty and care suddenly felt uncertain. For many listeners, this part of the story hit harder than anything else. Money and fame were one thing, but heartbreak felt much more personal and real. According to the podcast, Claressa began pulling back. She posted less online. Her interviews felt quieter, more careful. Her presence, once bold and open, became guarded. Some fans saw this as a natural response to feeling overwhelmed. They believed anyone in her position would need space to breathe and think. Others wondered if something bigger was happening behind closed doors, something that had not yet reached the public. Social media quickly became divided. One side stood firmly with Claressa. They argued that no one truly knows what happens in private. They said rumors and online talk should not define a person's life. They called for respect and patience. the other side questioned the people around her. They asked why so many claims were appearing at the same time, and whether there might be hidden truths waiting to surface. As the discussion spread, attention also turned toward Remy Ma and Papoose. According to Tasha, their public image as a strong and united pair was carefully maintained. She claimed that every appearance and statement was shaped to protect how they were seen. In this version of the story, Claressa's clean reputation and rising popularity played a central role in keeping everything looking calm and stable on the surface. This changed how many people looked at Claressa's journey. Her victories, which once felt like pure moments of triumph, now seemed more complex. For some, they became reminders of how easily trust and ambition can mix with pressure and hidden motives. The story made fans think about how success can attract people who see value in what you represent rather than who you truly are. Tasha claimed that Claressa eventually began to realize she was not just part of a friendship circle or a love story. She was part of a larger situation shaped by fear of exposure, financial stress, and the need to keep certain truths away from public view. According to the podcast, this realization was deeply painful. It forced Claressa to question not only the people around her, but also the moments she once believed were real and meaningful. Fans tried to imagine what that must feel like. To climb to the top of your career, to hear crowds cheer your name, and then to wonder if the people standing beside you truly have your best interests at heart. The idea of being celebrated by the world while feeling unsure about your closest connections struck a deep emotional chord. As more clips from the podcast appeared online, the conversation grew even louder. Some accused Tasha of chasing attention and views. They said dramatic stories spread faster and bring more eyes. Others felt the details were too specific to ignore. News pages, fan accounts, and gossip channels all added their own opinions, turning the story into something much bigger than a single podcast episode.
Claressa, you are on my mind, oh, Rissa, you're one of a kind, oh, Rissa, you better watch that married man, girl, because he's playing you, Rissa, he's intensely dead, oh, Rissa, you don't know what you get. Oh, let me be quiet. Let me leave my...
Claressa's silence became part of the discussion. Every day she stayed quiet, more theories appeared. Some believed she was protecting her peace. Others thought she was waiting for the right moment to speak. A few felt her silence said more than any statement ever could. In the absence of clear answers, people filled the space with their own ideas. According to Tasha, Claressa eventually began stepping away from people and situations that made her feel controlled. The idea that she was reclaiming her own path gave many fans hope. They wanted to see her rebuild her life and career based on her own choices, guided by her own goals rather than someone else's plans. Even with that hope, the emotional scars described in the story felt heavy. Trust, once broken, does not easily return. Relationships strained by doubt often leave lasting marks. The pressure of living in the public eye only makes healing more difficult. Every move is watched. Every word is judged. Even moments meant to be private can quickly become topics for public debate. The podcast also raised a bigger question about fame itself. How much of what people see online is real? How much is carefully arranged to protect images, careers, and money? Claressa's situation, whether fully true or partly exaggerated, became a symbol of how complex life can be behind the spotlight. For many fans, the story changed how they viewed celebrity culture. The bright lights, loud applause, and perfect photos often hide stress, fear, and private struggles. Success can open doors, but it can also invite people who see opportunity rather than friendship. It can create a world where trust becomes harder to give and easier to lose. As days passed, the conversation continued to evolve. Some people moved on to the next trending topic. Others stayed deeply invested, waiting for new details or a response from Claressa herself. Every small update felt important, as if it might finally answer the questions everyone was asking. At its core, the story became less about gossip and more about power and control. It raised concerns about how easily someone's name and image can be shaped by others. It also reminded people how vulnerable even the strongest figures can be when personal and professional lives collide. Claressa, known for standing fearless in the ring, was now seen by some as fighting a different kind of battle. This one was not against an opponent, but against doubt, disappointment, and the weight of public opinion. It was a fight that did not involve gloves or rounds, but emotions, choices, and the challenge of staying true to oneself in a world full of noise. As the podcast episodes continued, Tasha framed the situation as a long-running pattern rather than a single moment of betrayal. According to her, the image built around Claressa's success had been carefully used to support a larger structure that was slowly cracking underneath. This idea made people wonder how often something similar might happen to others in the spotlight. Fans were left to decide what they believed. Some trusted Claressa's past actions and character more than any online claim. Others felt uneasy, thinking there might be hidden truths that would eventually come out. The lack of clear answers kept the conversation alive. One thing became clear. The story had changed how people looked not only at Claressa, but at fame itself. The perfect picture no longer felt so perfect. Every smile now seemed to carry two meanings. One for the camera, and one for whatever might be happening behind it. In the end, many listeners came away with a simple but powerful thought. Success can lift you high, but it can also place you in situations where trust is tested in ways you never expect. Being admired by millions does not protect you from being hurt by those closest to you. Whether the claims are proven true or not, Claressa Shields now stands at the center of a conversation much larger than any single podcast. It is a conversation about loyalty, ambition, and the hidden cost of living in the public eye. Fans continue to watch, wait, and wonder. Some hope for clear answers. Others hope for healing. All are reminded that behind every public figure is a private person, carrying their own struggles, fears, and dreams. As the noise of the internet keeps rising, one quiet truth remains. Not every battle is fought in front of a crowd. Some of the hardest fights happen away from the cameras, where strength is measured not by wins and titles, but by the courage to face disappointment, rebuild trust, and move forward when the world is watching your every step. And as this story continues to unfold, it leaves behind a lasting reminder. The shine of fame can be bright, but it can also cast long shadows. Behind every headline, every viral clip, and every trending topic, there is a real person trying to make sense of their own life. Claressa's journey, whether shaped by truth, rumor, or a mix of both, has become a mirror for how quickly admiration can turn into doubt and how deeply people care about the lives they follow from a distance. For now, the questions remain open. The conversation keeps moving, and the world keeps watching, waiting to see what the next chapter will reveal in a story that has already touched on hope, trust, pain, and the complicated nature of being seen by millions.
In the mall, at the Louis Vuitton store, and you bought the Louis Vuitton duffel bag, and then you had to give him the Louis Vuitton box that you bought to give to you as if he bought it for you, and you forgot that you put the receipt online showing that you bought a duffel bag, a Louis Vuitton duffel bag, and it's like, did she just give him the gift to give to her to act like the things that we're telling her that he ain't got no money? He is gifting you his jewelry.